Hold on, tell the story again.
Okay.
Alright.
So, I have a friend named Lala, and we were all a part of a collective called them Hellas.
This was here?
No, this was in the Bay Area.
Okay.
And when I first came around and they found out I was a 5%er, they started saying stuff like, we need to introduce him to ska. And I'm like, I know ska music. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, what y'all talking about? Like punk, ska? Is like, no, ska. He's a 5%er. I'm like Self King of Law or Supreme King, like Self. They were like, yeah, something like that. All right. So I'm like, okay. She's like, you know what? I can do better. I'll just show you the interview that I did with him. And oh my God, man. This dude read RZA's manual and he was talking about, yeah, it's supreme mathematics. It goes off of the calendar. And just, you know, like, I can't remember everything he said, but that was enough. It goes off of the calendar and, you know, one is knowledge and knowledge. And I'm like, well, we always appreciate anybody who wants to take on this knowledge or even brushes against it and, you know, takes the time to what they did brush against, get it right. We always appreciate that.
Yeah.
But anytime motherfucker then read something and calling himself a 5%er and whatnot and sitting down and he don't even know what we talked about, that's when I'm gonna step in and be like, let me try some things. So I told Lala, I was like, look, introduce me to him and take that out of your documentary. You can't, I'm here. You can't put that out.
Yeah.
And she took it out. So she introduced me to him. Oh man, it was a funny event. I was like, oh, peace. He was like, yeah, peace. I was like, so what's your name? He was like, it's Supreme King of Law. And I was like, okay. So what tree do you come from? Well, I started asking him simple 5%er questions. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, where'd you get this knowledge? Who's your educator? He was like, educator. What are you talking about? I was like, let me rephrase. Where did you get this knowledge? And that's when he told me he read RZA's manual. I was like, okay, I respect that. Do you know where we come from? Do you know who the father is? He's like, yeah, Clarence 13X. That's another thing with 5%ers. If you call the father Clarence 13, if you don't call him the father or Allah, that don't mean we hate you. We just know who you are. Like
it's a giveaway.
It's a giveaway. Because we all call him the father or we call him Allah. So he was like, oh yeah, Clarence 13X. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, cool. So I was like, do you know we teach that the black man is God? And he looked at me like, huh? What do you mean? I was like, oh God, this is terrible. I can tell you right now, there's nowhere that I've lived. And I've lived Chicago, Milwaukee, the Bay Area, down south. I've lived a bunch of places. Ain't no place I've been in America where they have the most messed up idea about who we are, where it's the most mixed, tampered, and diluted with.
And that's the Bay Area
The
or
Bay
just
Area.
California in general?
Bay Area.
Bay Area.
Because I'd say LA, I think Born and a lot of those brothers put in enough work back in the day. Whether people like them or not, they know who we are and they know what we're not.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen about LA. LA, they definitely know who we are, and it's a new generation that don't know. And, you know, we have to do our duty with that. But no, the Bay was like, we're Muslims and they're this and like just... Because the Bay's already like that. It's already very mixed. You meet a person who's like, yeah, I'm into the Orishas, but I'm also a Muslim and I study comedic science. And I'm just like, you know how many things you just told me at once, bro? And I'm like, how many of them have you actually like mastered? How many of them things do you actually know and understand? And like, what you mean? I'm like, damn. If you gotta ask me what I mean when I ask you if you mastered something, that means you have not.
Yeah.
You have not. And just for future notice, there's no such thing as mastering 120. If anybody ever tells you they mastered 120, you might be talking to an idiot. I'm just being honest. Like,
Alright, so talk about when you were introduced to the 5%, and then how the teachings have helped you overall, but also just with your music.
Well, alright. We're gonna come back to the help with the music part because that's really significant.
Yeah.
How I got introduced to it was this was pretty much right before my journey all the way out of high school, because high school in Milwaukee when I grew up was very dangerous. So I stopped going to the main high school I went to and I started going to another high school, and there I met a brother named Kenneth who became iMathematics. And this was the brother I would start my journey in this culture with. And what happened was, me and him would see each other, and you know, he's a real ugly dude. No offense, like that's my boy, but he was an ugly dude. And I just see him, and he'd be looking at me. He got this look like, I didn't know that was his normal look. I didn't know that was his normal look, but yeah, I'm like, okay. So he walks to the bus stop one day, and I walk to the bus stop behind him, and we're aware of each other. He gets on one side, I'm on the other side. He's going this way, I'm going that way, and we start rapping at each other. Literally, that's how we met. Me and this man met battling each other from across the street, and it was on. And then eventually he mentioned the 5% Nation and the father and all of this stuff, and I was like, huh, okay. But then one day we was walking, this was probably like 6, 7 at night, and he was like, you remember that stuff I was talking to you about, the 5%ers and the mathematics and all of that? And I was like, yeah. He was like, what you think about that? I was like, I'm interested, I'm listening. And he started telling me more, and then 2 things happened. This was my spark. So in the 5%, we have something called a spark, and it's what did that? Who said something that was like, whoa? Or when did you see us and the way that we affected you made you be like, whoa, that's different. That's the spark. That's the thing that lit the candle. Now what's going to keep it lit is you and your will to come around and learn. Because we'll keep you lit. Trust. We'll keep you lit. But you got to light the candle yourself, essentially. So, when he said that, when I was like, yeah, I'm interested, I'm listening. Yo, he said a couple things, and I swear, I understand there's no mystery God, but this dude like popped out of thin air. It was like we're standing right here, and he just was like, oh, y'all talking about the gods and the earths? He was like, yeah, he learning about, oh, you learning? I'm the little dude at this time. He like, oh, you learning? Oh, you interested in that? Well, you need to do that then. If that's what if you interested in the gods and the earth, then you need to do that. That means that's for you. And I was like, okay. And then he just disappeared. Yeah, I mean, he walked off, but I'm telling you, it was like this dude came out of air. And then I was like, you know what? I want to learn. When he walked away, I want to learn. And then the second thing happened. Mathematics was like, I'm not qualified. His name was not Mathematics yet. He was like, I'm not qualified to teach you. But that brother right there is. We was right in front of Depth's Hall of Fame where Universal Knowledge worked at. And he was like, if you're interested, it's a brother in there who can teach you. I went in the next day. I met Universal Knowledge. You know, it didn't click between. We have a such thing in the 5%. It's called alike. You know what I'm saying? And we teach you to deal with your alikes in the world, but we also teach you to deal with your alikes within this knowledge. And your alikes, indeed, your alikes within this knowledge. And it just wasn't clicking all the way. But he let me know that we're here. You know, so eventually I found my educator. I was 14, and I found who was it I needed to teach me, who was Asun Truth. But that's how it all started. That was the spark. And for the second question, how it's assisted me in my music journey. Well, for us artists watching and people who have watched artists be artists, you know, it's not easy. And one of the first things about Supreme Mathematics is the first principle, which is knowledge. And knowledge we teach is the foundation. Knowledge is which all things come from. So it's kind of like with a dancer. Like I break dance, you know what I'm saying? When I start off breaking, I'll hit my boom, boom, boom. That's my foundation, my form. Then I'll start doing all this other stuff. But then I'll come back to my form. And that's when we say we come back to knowledge. You know what I'm saying? It all comes back to knowledge. So in my journey, I've had a lot of doubt. I've had depression. I've had failures. I've had successes. I've had all of these things that make it, well, not the successes. I've had all these negative things that make it seem like you shouldn't keep going or whoa. And then I rooted myself back in my knowledge. Mathematics have helped me to stay grounded and helped me to stay in reality. The reality isn't that I suck. The reality isn't that everybody's better than me. The reality is that I just, for one, gotta keep going. And for two, everything breaks down into small steps. It's a big picture. And we want that big ass picture. But that big picture literally starts in small steps. So when you come back to knowledge, it's like, okay, order of operation to order of importance. What is first? well, first of all, what kind of music do I want to do? Ooh, you know what I'm saying? So it's simple steps. It's all simple steps, and mathematics have helped me to stay grounded within those simple steps and to not go crazy.
Peace.
Yeah, musically, that's how mathematics has helped me in this journey, because this journey will have you tripping, tripping.
Yeah. All right. What are your thoughts on? I don't know if how closely you were looking at the whole Timbaland thing.
The AI Suno shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
What are your thoughts on? Well, you gave your thoughts.
Yeah, that's my thoughts. My thought isn't, I'm not against AI. I have certain plugins that are AI. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain plugins have some AI generation to them and whatnot, especially plugins that can like read in real time. So like Soothe 2, I know it's got something going on where it can read in real time. It's a resonance suppressor. So when you have a vocal and it's like, it reads that in real time and suppresses it, and you can make it do it more. But as soon as you throw it on there, you're gonna hear it right away because it's intelligently. It's so I respect that kind of stuff. I have a couple things, but like for one, Suno is being sued up the ass right now in many different ways because of how they're training their models. They're stealing.
Yeah.
You know, they're thieves. So that anything that your foundation starts with thievery, we all have too much respect for. So no, I don't have respect for Suno and all of that. And then Timbaland in particular, much respect and love to Timbaland from my childhood, and you know what I'm saying, being an incredible artist, musician, producer, all of that stuff, rapper even, like Timbaland was cool.
Yeah.
But what you're doing right now, it kind of like contradicts your legacy. And to me it's like, you know how, I'm not sitting here representing Bill Cosby or anybody, but I'm just saying, you know how like so many of our people that going and digging and destroying their legacy,
Yeah,
it's kind of like you doing it yourself.
Just kind of messing with our childhood a little bit.
Yeah, you messing with our childhood and shit, because it was like, I know people ain't perfect. I know people do good things and bad things and all of that and whatnot, but it's like your legacy is built on pretty much analog gear, because that's the time you come from. Real music, having to do things, having a splice tape, having, you know, like all that stuff, having to pay engineers, long sessions, like all it come from that. And it's like what you're doing is totally opposite. So it just, is it thirst? You know, what is it? You've always been a innovative engineer, producer, and you've always been known for helping people. And what are you doing now? Like, what is this about?
And it's crazy the way he did it, though. You know what I mean? It was like deception. Like, he had this lot. He would, you know, I think it was on Twitch or one of those. He would have artists come in
and steal their shit,
play their music, but that whole time he was taking that music and using it for, what is it, Suno?
Suno, yeah.
To help program the AI.
Exactly.
And that's you know, that approach.
That's trippy. It make me think about who made your music back in the day.
Yeah, it makes you rethink everything.
It makes you rethink everything.
You know? Like, if you would do that in that way so easily without even thinking twice about it. What have you already done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like there's a history, like hands down, like once again, I hate that these names pop up, but R. Kelly is the king in R&B until Chris Brown puts out his own artist, until Chris Brown is a known musician, producer, like beyond like just credits. Like, I'm just keeping it real. There are certain things that separate them, but R. Kelly had a history in Chicago for like artists that they played on his shit, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot, and I some of them didn't get paid. Woo. I don't know, I ain't never heard no history like that about Timbaland. But who knows?
Right.
Who knows, man? I don't know. It's funny you bring that particular person up, because you could have just brought up Suno, but like that, dude, that's you know, that's really hard.
It's that knowledge power degree.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's hard to take in from somebody like that.
Yeah,
that's a hard one for me. Because, I mean, look at all the people, dude. Look at all the Aaliyah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, Aaliyah would not like that. Aaliyah wouldn't have hated that. Aaliyah would have been like, what the fuck? All the shit I've been through to make my music, and you doing this shit. So.
Yeah. And then there was that thing, I can't remember the name of the producer, but he basically took a producer's beat and played it like it was something that he created. I can't think of his name right now.
I seen this Asian chick was going in on him about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. She was
yeah.
She was going in the most respectful way I've ever seen, because you could, what she wanted to say, you could tell, but she was very respectful. I honestly, in that moment, thought like you got the ground to go a little harder.
Yeah.
But maybe she wanted to make sure she was heard, and she was in a group full of men too. Right. So it's like maybe she wanted to make sure she was heard, but like.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so what are your thoughts about that? The first AI artist being signed.
I think it should have its run. I think that it needs to do its thing and bubble and shit, because when I think about that stuff and I think about all of the art attached to it that comes along, you know, anime and woo woo and these art, I think about kids. I think about little kids when I think about AI artists, honestly, and I think they'll have fun. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think it has its place, but among us, fuck out of here, bro. Like that shit ain't finna rock. Like, get your money, get your money, but like as far as artistry goes, among us motherfuckers who really out here grinding and rubbing shoulders and getting told no and all of that, nah. It's not even a conversation. It's nothing to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Couple more questions. Now this is, I should have given you a little bit of heads up on this one because it'll probably be hard to just pull it out of your mind, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
Go ahead.
If you had to go through all of 120 and look at a degree that best describes where you're at in your travels right now,
it's my physical degree. It's understanding build degree.
Okay.
Why God that make devil. You know what I'm saying? To show forth his power, that he is all wise and that he can make a devil, which is weak and wicked, and give the devil the power to rule over the earth for 6,000 years, then in one day destroy the devil without falling victim to the devil's civilization. And my procrastination is the devil that I gave the power to rule for a long time. My self-doubt, my comfort. I never used to be a person that was about comfort, but when I came to LA, a lot of things changed for me. Culture shock, insecurities got brought out, all kind of things, and that became another one of my devils. I got devils that I created for myself, that I made for myself, and it's time to destroy them, because, and it's all happens in one day, because all this shit that I'm making, that I've been procrastinating on, all them devils that I'm finna destroy, that's gonna happen in one day. Jerul gonna look on his phone and they're gonna be like, damn, the God dropped it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna look on their phone and be like, oh, that's it. It all happened in one day. Months, years of accumulation for one day. That's where I'm at right now. I am literally in the, why did you do this then? Like, why are you, like, for one, why? Understanding. You need to understand for yourself why, because you'll never get past it unless you understand it. So now that I've gotten to the place of understanding, now we add on. So now I add that on to culture. Now that I have that understanding, there's no reason why my life shouldn't be an example. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not an example, but my life shouldn't be a reflection of who I say I am and what I want to do. Not saying it hasn't been, but for the last years, if you know me, I kind of been to myself and working on stuff and going through stuff. So yeah, I'm at that place where, why did God make devil, man? Like, why did, you know, purpose, you know, purpose. That's where I'm at for sure.
Peace. All right, is that it? Let me think.
Yeah, I think I was gonna be quick on the draw with that.
You know, I figure most people, you know, most of the gods are always thinking about, like, you know, where am I at in the degrees and things of that nature. So I figured I'd ask. You know what I mean? I know I threw you on the spot, but I figured I'd ask.
I'm so there.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about our culture being used in music and entertainment, but not necessarily by True and Living?
The criminal way?
Yeah.
I think, okay, so I'm currently writing something. I'm gonna give a little spoiler, but I'm currently writing, I don't know if you want to call it a plus degree or whatever, or maybe just an add-on or something, but it's the narrative and the warrior. And our culture has its own type of rap music. It has its own brand of rap music, and it's very popular among underground communities and woo. But like the reality is, it's fucked up. It doesn't talk about anything positive. It's all negative. It's all negative shit. And if you get around 5%ers, you be like, okay, I see some of y'all are gangster, kind of gangster woo, but what is this? We having food and building and wholesome and babies is here. Where are the guns and the cocaine and the woo? You know what I'm saying? The shit that you hear in our music. And the culture. Yeah, you know who got the culture cipher? Don't nobody got the culture cipher on them. You know what I'm saying? And if they do, it's like you really don't know, because when we come together and when we build or we have civilization classes or any of the things that 5%ers actually do, it has nothing to do with that music. And the narrative, it continues that rap narrative. My mama was on drugs, my dad was in prison, I ain't have nothing to do, the gods was outside, I listen. That is a real story for certain people. So we need to also not take away from that. Some people, that's their real story. But since it tied in with hip-hop narrative, it became the narrative that is displayed as us. I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't have to be a gangster to be a 5%er. You don't have to ever went to jail to be a 5%er. You can have both your parents and they can be prestigious graduates, and you can still become a 5%er. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. And I think the narrative, those narratives need to change, and the emphasis upon, and I say this personally, the emphasis upon breeding warriors in our culture is one of our weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? One of our weaknesses is basically we have something called military training, right? Which is knowledge and wisdom, mental and physical awareness. That's just that. And then there's a such thing as getting punked. You know what I'm saying? Some people get punked into this shit and made to be like whoever the cipher of people they're around is. I have no clique. I have no gang. I have no religion. I have none of that. I have my brothers and my sisters, but at the end of the day, I stand alone. But I have my brothers and my sisters, and I don't build with. I'm just keeping it real. In particular, I don't build with a lot of 5%ers who are like that. I don't fuck with the boys club. I don't fuck with the tribes. I don't fuck with the cliques. I don't do all of that shit, because at the end of the day, none of it adds up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't add up. So
reminds me of the knowledge of God degree. You know what I mean? What does it mean to civilization? One, having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement, not a savage in the pursuit of happiness. It takes one. But when you... One with the knowledge of God.
When you around that cipher and some of those within that do have it, you appear as if you do. That's why, just in case you do ask something about this question, about our numbers and stuff like that, people have been asking me that question a lot. What you think about our numbers? And I've been telling them the same thing. I don't ever think, even before I was born, that there were ever a lot of 5%ers. There were never, and there never will be, a lot of 5%ers. A lot of people around were catching the experience. A lot of people around were getting some knowledge of themselves, but they went a different path, or they dove in a more constructive way into their Christianity, whatever it may be. Most of them, and when I say it, I mean most of them, were not us. You know what I'm saying? They were not 5%ers. They didn't live this way of life. They didn't live this culture. They talked this shit when they came around us. You know what I'm saying? And it was cool at school. It was cool on the corner. It was cool, woo. But, and I ain't hating on that either, but because I'm really talking to 5%ers with this statement. We ain't never had a lot of numbers, and we never will. You know what I'm saying? The true and living will always be the 5%. So that's a small percentage.
For sure.
You know, but it's nothing wrong. I ain't trying to hate on or downplay when people are around feeling like they're part of us or whatever they need to get. I ain't hating on none of that, because we gonna make sure you get it right anyway. So while you around us, you know what I'm saying, you gonna get it right anyway if you're around the right ones. So I ain't tripping on the masses coming to get their experience. But you know, I'll leave off with the narrative needs to change, and the emphasis on being a warrior needs to not become our predominant emphasis. You know, we need to start to really do what we say we do, which is teach people according to the knowledge and the wisdom of who they are. Because once you do that, all that what I think, how I am, all that shit goes out the door. I'm paying attention to you and who you are, and that's how I'm gonna teach you. And I'm a product of that. My educator saw who I was very quickly, and it's a lot of shit. I within a matter of weeks, it's a lot of shit he stopped saying to me. right away. Things he stopped offering those things. Things that he was like, nope. He stopped pushing that mic because he saw quickly who I was and how he needed to teach me was according to who I am and how I am. So I think that is a big thing that needs to come back in our culture, is teaching people according to who and how they are, and quit trying to graft motherfuckers. Quit trying to make people into who you think they are. Make them a part of your clique. Make them a part of your tribe. Make them a part of your woo 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 woo. That man may need to get this knowledge and go be a fucking a principal at a school. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might have something else in him, and you fucked it up because you saw his vulnerability through him being honest and open about wanting this, and basically made him like you. There's so many people in this culture who, with pride, do that.
Yeah.
You know, with pride, they make other people like them. And that's not what we teach. That's not what Jesus taught. That's not what, like, none of the great ones was on that shit. That's all the deceptors,
right,
who are like that.
Right. All right. What can they be looking for as far as your music and your, you know what I mean? Any upcoming projects and things of that nature?
About to drop a trip hop project, and it's all produced by me, but it's featuring Estelina. She's a Latin female artist out here. Incredible voice, soulful ass voice, really just dope. Pen game, everything. She's gonna be the lead artist as far as the songs go, but it's a trip hop project. It's like it's called Electric, so it's kind of electro beats, electro R&B kind of meets trip hop kind of thing going on, which is nothing new. It's just my take on it. So that project should be coming out within the next 2 months. And I just said that right now. I just said that. So yeah, that project will be out within the next 2 months. And then I'm gonna hit them with another couple beat projects. I'm gonna do the same. It's gonna be the same formula. And I'm gonna keep coming. It's just gonna be different genre. Like after the trip hop one, I already have the beats made for like a soulful project. So it's like shit sound like Isley Brothers. Shit sound like I got a whole project. I'll let you hear some of it too. I got a whole project already set for that. I just need to find a singer. Okay. The one who I want that's gonna sing. And I know who she is too, and she need to quit bullshitting. But I gotta get a singer for that project. But it's gonna be the same formula. I'm gonna do that a couple times, and behind the scenes I'm going through vocal training right now. And once I get to that point where my vocal teacher is like, you're ready to get back to singing, because I let him hear all my songs. He loved them. He was like, but all that shit has to get re-recorded. And it's like, I can't let you, after all of this training and all the money you're spending, I can't let you do that. So my personal music is on the back burner as far as actually recording and putting it out, but writing and production is going down right now for my music. But look out for these beat projects, because that's what's about to get it going.
Okay. And where can people connect with you?
My Instagram is Goldmine, Goldm and the number 9. That's my personal Instagram as an artist. And then Definition, DEFNXN Soundspace. That's my studio page. And between those two, you'll get a lot of stuff.
All right. Peace.
Peace.